Well, we had a bong company before the weed, and I thought I was safe, you know, having a bong company. Then you wouldn't have to worry about being busted. In fact, I did a movie one time called Car Wash with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, and and in the movie I was selling the bongs. I was just selling bongs. The weed was free.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But anyway, that's how I got into it. I've been into the weed business, you know, since 1958. That's when I first started. And and we got our own strain. Well, it's just natural, you know, that Cheech and Chong, you know, we're getting our own dispensaries. And so it's just natural that Cheech and Chong have our own strain. You know, we're the original OGs.
Yes, you are. You guys are the OGs.
Yep,
Everybody else came after you. So for
that's right.
you, how how do you go from 1958 to now, where some states are legal, yet back then you weren't, and we're still fighting, you know, within the United States to decide what's legal and what's not, and where it is and where it's not.
Well, I mean, that's just if you pay any attention to those stupid rules, you know. I never did, you know, because they were dumb. You know, they were racist laws, and I just ignore anything racist. I ignore it. I either ignore it or I fight it. You know, but you know, marijuana has always been. In fact, it was never called. It was never marijuana. It was always called cannabis or hemp or you know, marijuana is the slave name. You know, for the drug. You know, that's what they used to justify making it illegal, because it was marijuana. And when you got high on marijuana, you killed your parents with an axe. You know, so anyway, you know, it was just natural that I got my own strain, and we got our own dispensaries. And as far as strains goes, don't ask me to name any. My favorite strain is marijuana, cannabis, and THC. That's my favorite. That's my favorite strains.
So you're not into the whole sativa and purple crush and tequila sunrise and all those crazy names and strains that they make of it?
I'm too old. I can't remember that stuff. I have a hard time remembering my name. how am I going to remember, you know, OG or blueberry or bubblegum? You know, I mean, I can't remember my password for my computer. So there's no way I'm going to remember that. You know?
I was told to make sure. Was it one link that you had to hit to get on this interview via Zoom? So let me ask you, what is, I mean, nowadays, what do you think, you know, on the good side, what is the good side of marijuana? What medicinal purposes? Who can it help? Is there,
It can help. It can help practically everybody. But seriously, it helps people with epilepsy. You know, babies with epilepsy. Now that was a horrible disease, where you'd have strokes sometimes every hour. And a stroke was really the electrical circuit in your body goes haywire for a few minutes and sometimes longer. And it just makes your body go all crazy. And so cannabis helped to the point where CNN showed Dr. Gupta with a baby, a year-old baby that was having strokes every 15 minutes, hugged his mother for the first time because of the CBD and the THC oils that they gave it, the Charlotte's Web oil that they gave it, which was derivative of from the marijuana plant. So the medicinal purposes are endless, and they're still finding out. And figure out during this pandemic, marijuana shops are considered essential. We're open, you know, bars are closed. But you can't buy a beer, but you can buy an ounce, you know, and that says everything. So now, as far as health goes, it helped me recover from cancer. Like I had prostate and I had rectal cancer, and I had the operation, and I started injecting CBD oil right away. As soon as I finished the operation, the next day I think I started injecting myself with CBD oil, and my recovery was incredible. I was doing the Disney movie Zootopia the day I walked out of the hospital. I walked out of the hospital, got in a car, drove to the studio, and did my voiceover for Zootopia. And so that's the miracle. You know, I didn't sit at home, you know, doing all sorts of terrible drugs, you know, the Oxycontin and all that. You know, none of that. I got off that right away. I was on it, you know, when they operate on you, they hook you up with all the drugs, and a little button. You hit the button, and the drugs go into your system. And so that button, I was having a lot of fun with that button for a while, you know. But as soon as I got out of the hospital, I put the button away and got on the CBD, and it helps with MS. People with MS, multiple sclerosis. It's been documented, you know, by people with MS, you know, oh, so many. And in fact, when they legalized it in 16, I mean, 2016, I was in Colorado, the Springs, Colorado Springs, and to a opening. It was the first opening legal pot shop in America, one of the first. And the lineup to get in before they opened the doors looked like a lineup waiting to see Jesus to get healed, you know, because they're on crutches, they're in wheelchairs, they're leaning against the thing. You know, they were old people with their people helping them, you know, and then one or two hippies in there, and then everybody else. And that was a lineup. And that said, tell me everything, you know, because now people that would never, like my wife, you know, she hated, she smoked pot early, but didn't like it because it made her eyes droopy. And but she liked LSD, thank God. That's why we're still together. But she did not like pot. But now she takes the edibles because it helps her sleep.
So
And so
you have edibles also in your line, correct? You have
oh, we have it all. We have the CBD oil, we have the edibles, we have the strips, breast strips, you know, that you can take, and it's got THC in it.
wow.
And I tried it on some of my friends in Canada. We went to a hockey game, and halfway through the hockey game, it hit them, and it was like they ordered more munchies than the whole stadium could eat.
So what makes, for you to put your name behind your product, what makes it better? Why do you think it's better than other stuff that may be out there?
The secret of pot, the secret of marijuana is where and how it's grown, you know. And so, and that's easy because the bad pot, you know, it doesn't grow that well, and it doesn't sell that well. So the good pot, and that's you know, the best growers were attracted to me because of my celebrity, and I'm attracted to the best growers because of their product. And so it was a nice marriage. And then I have, you know, everybody. We know the growers, and so that's why we know we're getting the best product, because that's the best product makes the best medicine, and the best medicine sells the best, and that's a win-win for everybody.
During COVID-19, I mean, you just said it, your dispensaries are open, they're essential.
Yeah. Yes.
How Is it helping any for people that have COVID? Or have you guys have you heard any of that? You know, the
I
marijuana.
haven't, I haven't heard any, well, they advise you not to smoke because of the lungs, you know, if you got a problem with your lungs. Of course, you know, smoking, but I haven't heard anything really, you know, I mean, I know a few COVID people that had it and they don't have it anymore, but I never heard anything, you know, maybe a couple, like my, you know, my wife's friends who take the edibles or something to sleep with, you know, but I haven't heard any
And
direct, you know, any, I tried it and it worked kind of thing, you know.
so, well, let me ask you, before I ask you a serious question, how many times do you smoke a day?
As many times as I can remember. Because a lot of times I don't remember. And for the first, when I was locked down for a while there, I kept thinking, oh, am I getting that virus? And then I'd think, oh, no, I'm just stoned. That's why I feel weird. I'm just stoned.
Oh my goodness.
Like I find myself slowing down or hard to get up. And then I realized that a lot of times when I'm stoned, I'm a sculptor too. You know, I work with wood,
Okay.
and I work out too. You know,
Oh,
and so when you get stoned and you work out, you kind of forget that you worked out. And so I'm thinking, oh, why am I so stiff and sore? Oh, am I getting COVID? And then I realized, oh, you worked out, you idiot.
oh my gosh. Well, and let me ask you then on the serious side, I have a lot of people have done a lot of stories, gone to Colorado. Here in Texas, it is not legal. I've gone to Colorado, done stories up there at some of the dispensaries. They allowed us into apparently one of the best grow houses in Pueblo, Colorado. And then we did the other side of it with law enforcement, where a lot of them say, you know, this has really bad side effects, especially for kids. This is an entry or a gateway drug and other things. What do you say to that?
Well, oh my God, it's my dog barking. I say that people that are opposed marijuana are the people that are making money from having it, opposing it. Like you just said, it was the police. Well, the police, you know, they get to keep the forfeiture money. They get to put people in jail, you know, can get the prison industry working more. They get to arrest peaceful criminals because we're not criminals. We're farmers and we're growers. We're users. We're sellers. We're people with MS. And so the people that oppose it are the people that are making money by opposing it and keeping people, you know, incarcerated and losing their farms and losing their belongings. Worst of all, losing their freedom, you know, getting a record, getting a criminal record. It's horrendous. And the thing is, if you look back in history, it's always been legal in every civilized country in the world. From China, since the beginning of time, it was always considered a medicine, an herb, you know, something to help you, not no reason to put you in. And the only reason, you know, that marijuana became illegal was because of the racism. And so you find those people that talk bad about marijuana, they're supporting racist laws and racist ideas and racist ways of treating people, you know, because why is it called marijuana? Yeah, why isn't it called cannabis? Because cannabis sounds too legal, huh? You know, and it sounds too, yeah, it sounds like medicine, you know. You never hear them say, oh, we got a big crop of cannabis. It's always a big crop of marijuana, you know. And so what I say to these people, Google it. Google marijuana. See what it does. See what it comes up. It never says, you know, it's a gateway drug. It'll say that it was once believed to be a gateway drug by racist cops. You know, well, they won't call them racist cops, but that's really what they are, you know. And so you know, putting people in jail because of their race, you know, it's as old as the hills, by the way. Slavery was legal back in the day. You know, every civilization had slaves. And unfortunately, you know, we still do. That still exists, because you can be a slave without technically, you know, being black or being owned by white people. You can be an economic slave, but that's the nature of our world. That's the nature of our physical world. Like Jesus said, there'll always be poor people, you know, but the intelligent people, you know, you don't make a medicine illegal for racist purposes. You know, and what you do, you make that medicine available. Now, Texas being still illegal, that shows you still got that racist attitude in Texas, you know, where they want to keep, you know, minorities. And by the way, we're no longer minorities, we're majorities, you know. They got to remember that. People, you know, the white people, the white racists that want to talk about minorities, they're the minority, you know. And they're going to find that out this election, for sure, because, you know, the meek shall inherit the earth, and no one's meeker than a pothead. You can't hide truth. You can't bury truth. You can't destroy truth. See, truth. That's why truth is it's indestructible. You can try to hide it. You can try to cover it up, but you can't hide it. And when the truth of marijuana finally reached everybody, you know, except obviously the people in Texas, and that is coming. That you know, that is coming.
Well,
And once it gets legal federally, you know, forget it. You know, it'll be legal.
then I was going to ask you, what would you say to our legislators? You know, our legislators here in Texas, because they're starting to talk about it. They're going to go back into session again. Everybody's saying this next legislative session that they may approve it. What would you say to the legislators here?
Yeah, you know, formally, I would say, yes, that's a good idea. You know, definitely legalize it, definitely, without doubt. You know, take away the criminal penalties and, you know, reimburse the people that have been hurt. But you know, that's what I would say, you know, to their faces. But I would say right now, I would tell all those people, get their head out of their ass, you know, because it's not you're living in the now. And now, if you look around, cannabis is medicine. It's good. Marijuana no longer exists. It's a slang word that no longer exists. So you're not dealing with marijuana anymore. Marijuana, it does not exist. Only cannabis exists.
So right now, marijuana, I think it was last year that I interviewed the former president of Mexico, Vicente Fox.
Yeah.
They're about to legalize. They were supposed to do it in June, but COVID happened. So now it's been moved to December to legalize some sort of, you know, amounts that people can use. He said this would take a bite of about 50% of the money that the cartels make.
Oh, sure. Oh, big time.
What do you think is going to happen to all of that?
The cartel?
Yeah.
They're going to go legal. They got they get everything. They got all the equipment and the wherewithal. You know, all they have to do now is just start hiring lawyers instead of henchmen. No, you know, yeah. By the way, you know why it's illegal all over the world still?
Why?
Because America came on their war of drugs. They started paying countries all over the world to eradicate their marijuana crops or their hemp or their, you know, their hashish and that, including Nepal, including Pakistan, including Afghanistan, including all those places. I was in a little island called Palau in the Micronesian Islands. And they when I was there, because I was a celebrity, I had the head of the DEA call me. He was on another island. He was in an island called Yap. And even though he was the head of the DEA, what he was doing, he was presiding over these little countries that get paid. Like Palau got paid, probably still does, get paid $1 million a year to eradicate their crops, their marijuana crops. And so what Palauans did, they would grow 2 crops, one to eradicate and one to smoke.
Wow.
And so they got their million. It's like they sold $1 million worth of pot to the government, you see. And so that's around the world. Once they legalize pot, that money stops coming in, you know, because then they're no longer part of the war on drugs. And so that's why a lot of, and they signed, to get that money, they had to sign a treaty, you know, with everybody. And so there's a lot of countries that are illegal, like the Philippines, for instance, you know. It's not only illegal there, it can be a death sentence. You can get killed for dealing drugs. And China routinely executes drug dealers. Now, it's usually the heavier drugs, but but you know, you don't want to walk around with a joint in China. You know, it wouldn't do you well. And so a lot of places in the world, and now I don't know about India or Nepal anymore, but at one time, they had the best hash, legal hash in the world. It was the king would put a stamp on the hash. That's how good it was. And it was all around the world. And it was used like they use it now, you know, to get high, for medicine, for pleasure, you know, to make themselves feel better. You know, that's what the hookahs were for. And so, you know, what we did by making it illegal, we turned it all into a crime, you know, and it's not a crime. And so this is what the countries around the world, they'll have to deal with, you know. And once America goes legal, then the rest will. Just let me yell at my dog. Okay. Captain!
What's the dog?
Captain! Oh, he doesn't listen to me.
Captain, what breed is Captain?
Can you believe that?
Capitan?
Captain's, he's a shitsalada. and a yapsalada.
There you go. Let me ask you. So what do you like better? Do you like pre-rolled, edible, cartridges? What do you prefer?
I'm an old G. I smoke out of my pipe, out of my bong.
Do you have it
around? This dog is not going to show.
That's okay. You can go get him. You can go get him.
Come here. Come here. Hey.
The dog may need some CBD.
Hey. Get him. Come here.
Wow, look at those guys.
Get in here. Get in here. Shut up.
Oh.
He was doing he was barking at the gardener. I should have known the gardener was here. You know why?
Why?
Because I always do his job before he gets there. You know, the place is a mess, so a lot of times I sweep up and I do the garbage and everything, and then the gardener comes, and I've already done his job.
Well, then he can take a break. Okay, so I was asking you what you preferred, and I asked you if it was pre-roll, the edibles, the cartridges, and you said
flower. You know, I just like the flower. I like buds, and I got a collection of buds, you know, all around the house. When I got busted one time, the cop says, "Do you have any marijuana in the house?" I said, "Yep." And they said, "Where is it?" I said, "Everywhere." All over. Take your pick.
So now I'm asking questions that my friends that smoke are telling me to ask
Okay.
you. So they're asking, does he have a Zen area where he has all of his stash, and what is his favorite strain? And we talked about strains. You don't care about those.
No, my favorite strain is marijuana. That's my favorite strain. And cannabis.
Okay. And do you have a Zen area?
Well, the Zen area? Actually, everywhere in my house. You know, from the lockdown, you know, we travel so much when we're free. And now that we're trapped, I'm finding all these beautiful places on my property. And so, yeah, I just fixed a Zen area in front of the room downstairs. It's beautiful. And I got a beautiful garden. My wife is an artist, so we live in a jungle. We just cut down some bananas over, plantains. And so I got a flat roof, and I got my pot plants growing up there. So I got a little Zen area up there too.
Wow.
So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 Zen areas. I can't tell you how many. That's why I make wooden pipes. So you don't break any.
Do you have one there?
I got a bunch of them here. You want to see one?
Yeah, can I see one?
I get this is my little soy bottle, or what do you call recycled bottle? And when this is a little Home Depot gas fitting for the pipe in plastic, and then this is one of my favorite ones. And I put my little logo on it there. Now this one, that's one I've been using lately. This is made out of a little bamboo branch,
Wow.
and it just grows beautiful. I love bamboo. This is my favorite plant, and so I found this. I take it instead when the gardener like cuts it down, and then I go in the garbage and pick out the nice little pieces. This is another piece of bamboo. It looked nice, and I cut it. And I just love the way it looks and the way it feels, and it's so easy. We got Chong Bong. This is my Home Depot. Me and my buddy went into Home Depot and said, "How fast can we make a pipe?" And so this is it.
So
just
you
went
make
around
it out of Home Depot material?
Oh yeah, you go to Home Depot. If you look at Home Depot, read it properly. It says Home Depot. So it's Home Depot. It's almost like French or native,
Oh my goodness.
Home Depot. So this is a Home Depot. Okay, let me show you. I'll show you Chong Bong.
Let me see.
Okay. This is a Chong Bong.
Oh my goodness.
See?
Okay.
Now this one is made by the original Chong Bong guy,
Wow.
Chris Barr. Chris Barr made this one.
Wow.
And the only thing that's missing, but we don't have the millie. We had a millie that was in here.
So I met Cheech last year here for the San Antonio Film Festival. And funny enough, I never knew this. I guess there's a lot of people that you guys are on their bucket list to have their first smoke with. Did you know that?
Who? That we are?
There's apparently a lot of people that say that you guys are on their bucket list to have their first hit with. Have you heard that before?
Probably. Probably heard a lot of that. I've heard a lot. There's a lot of Cheech and Chong tattoos up there. I know that. Cheech collects pictures of Cheech and Chong tattoos.
So do you have any advice for the kids? I mean, do you have grandkids?
Oh, I got great grandkids.
So what do you tell them? I mean, do any of them smoke? And if they're going to smoke, what do you advise them?
I tell them, listen, if you're going to do drugs, replace them. Especially if you're going to smoke my pot, replace it,
Oh my goodness. How many grandkids and great grandkids do you have?
Okay, let's start with the great grandkids. I've got 2 great grandkids. Great grandkids. I got four grandkids. Now, the first girl was just born, little Kia. She's 3 weeks old now.
Wow.
So, she's so beautiful. And then I got a little surfer up in Canada, little Gus. Little Gus is getting big. He's 8 or 9 now. And then I got, let's see, who else? Oh, you see, a little brain fart here. Then Morgan's grown. Morgan's Ray Don's son. Oh, and Jackson. He's a guitarist in Toronto. And his brain, he's going to be a filmmaker one time. And then I got 3 daughters with 3 different women, 3 different mothers.
Uh-oh.
And I got 2 sons with the same mother. And that's it.
Okay. So we talked about the CBD. We talked about what your favorite was. OG. Advice for young people, what you would say to the legislators in Texas. Now, the people in San Antonio, have you been to San Antonio? I believe you have.
Many times. I've got attacked by those black birds by the creek many times.
By the Riverwalk?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, you know, those cute little birds that come down and get in your hair.
Yes. Exactly.
What is their problem? Are they racist? No, they're not. They're equal opportunity birds, aren't they? They'll attack anybody.
They will attack anybody at the Riverwalk. So what do you think of San Antonio? What's your best memory? So we can, let you go. What's your best memory of San Antonio, and what do you want to say to San Antonians?
We used to do the comedy club there, quite a bit. The Riverwalk, is it
Correct.
Riverwalk Comedy?
Correct.
And then there was another one, I think owned by the same lady out of town in San Antonio. I love San Antonio, man. I just wish more people, could speak Spanish. A lot of people, you try to speak Spanish to them, they answer you in English.
So you need them to get back and learn the mother language. Oh
No, I'm just kidding. No, I love San Antonio. I love Texas. I love everything in Texas. Everything. It's Mexico. Come on, let's face it. We're really in Mexico. Like California. The same as California, man. They can call it California all you want, but it really is Mexico.
So if they legalize, are you guys ready to open up your dispensaries here for business?
Oh, in a heartbeat. Are you kidding? Oh my God. Oh my God. See, Cheech and Chong, we're not only pot, icons, we're deities, Cheech and Chong, especially in the Spanish world, I mean, you go anywhere in the Spanish world and they know that I'm Chong, or they know that Cheech is somewhere around. I mean, we're celebrated. We're as popular as the Pope. A lot of those countries, and not only there, but like in China too, because the Chong took all the Chinese. See, that's where Cheech and I, we conquered the world, because Cheech took all the Mexicans and the Spanish, and I took all the Orientals and white guys, because I'm half white. So we got them all.
Okay. What were you asking me? That's okay. Oh yeah. When Cheech was here, he was talking about the art. How important is the art, the Chicano art? How important is it to what you guys do and who you are? I mean, everybody knows who you are. So how important is the art that goes along with who the two of you are?
Well, the art is visible. See, art is God made visible. That's all art is. It's just because the inspiration, where's it comes from? It comes from God. And so the inspiration to just think about it. You put oil on a canvas and have it worth millions and millions of dollars. See? And to be able to do that, to have that talent. See? And that's why the art, I watched the show about the Aztecs. Oh my God, you talk about art and monuments. They built the monuments were so big that people are saying, oh, this must have done it. These people couldn't do it themselves. The aliens had to do it. But you know what? Those aliens were those people down there doing it, the natives. They were the aliens. They did all that work. But But yeah, yeah, we're, I forgot the question. Was there a question?
We're talking about art and how
Yeah,
important
oh,
it
the
is for
art,
everything
art,
that you
art,
guys
art.
do.
Yeah, well, in the Spanish art, oh my God. Well, one Spanish guy is probably the most known artist in the whole world, Picasso. Yeah,
There you
who's more famous
go. There
than
you go.
Picasso? Yeah, and so we're all children of Picassos. I love Picasso. See, and I love the whole
That's what I was
Spanish thing, man. You know, I love it. When I was in Madrid, was it Madrid? No, I've never been to Madrid. What am I talking about? Been at the airport there. Barcelona. Barcelona. One time during the Spanish Inquisition, you know, when the Jews had to hide. You know, they couldn't practice religion, and so that's why the Spanish houses all have that formal. You know, every house would have that formal entranceway, but then the Jews would have their synagogues and everything else behind the wall, behind the thing. But they all had that one Spanish look. And I love Spanish architecture too. I mean,
So let me ask you, the last question would be, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to be remembered by?
that we were human. We weren't gods. We actually existed. When I say we, it's Cheech and I, you know, because years from now they'll say, oh, you know, I was Googling and there was really two guys named Cheech and Chong. They're not just a logo on a dispensary, you know, or on a bong, you know, or on a marijuana or a T-shirt. You know, these guys really existed.
And
No, Cheech and I, well, we single-handedly changed everybody's attitude toward weed and Chicanos.
did you
We
say
single Chicanos.
Oh, Chicanos. Okay, there you go.
Chicanos, yeah. Weed and Chicano. And to some extent Chinese, although Chinese, they always feel that they're in a different sphere than we are. But yeah, because before Cheech and Chong, you know, people were scared of the Chicanos with headbands, you know, and they thought all the Chicanos were like Trump said, you know, the drug dealers and, you know, the El Chapos, you know. But no, we were two musicians just having fun.